I'm sure that many of you have heard the news of the decision made by Bolt Thrower to call it a career after 30 years as a pioneering and highly influential death metal group. And this is a band that I feel that in some circles would be considered to be a bit underappreciated for their efforts, a bit underappreciated for their influence that was really given to the death metal genre based off of what they were able to really complete. Whether it be the 8 studio albums, the EPs, the live albums, the live atmosphere, we reflect upon all of that today, but we also reflect upon the solemn nature in which this decision was made, and the fact that it was a decision that was already in the process of maybe being made a year ago. And I will provide some context for that. You see, the announcement of this breakup was September the 14th, which is yesterday, Wednesday. However, on September the 14th of 2015, 1 year ago, the news that we got out of the Bolt Thrower camp was equally as heartbreaking. And that was the day in which we learned that Martin Kearns, their longtime drummer, a man of only 38 years old, had passed away in his sleep. He had been feeling unwell for a couple of days and simply drifted off. And it was an announcement that definitely shocked many people. It was one that saddened a lot of longtime fans. It saddened, of course, the camp. And really, we hadn't heard much from these guys since then. It's been really 11 years since we have had a Bolt Thrower studio album, and it was something that many were hoping would come to pass sometime in the future. However, it appears that that is now no longer a possibility. After a year of reflection, after a year of deliberation, they decided that Martin was essentially one of their life's blood. Something that made Bolt Thrower unique. Something that gave Bolt Thrower the real atmosphere, that gave it the real life. Once again using that word life's blood, that made Bolt Thrower, not to sound redundant. He was a critical component to this group. He began with the band at the age of 17 and had 2 separate stints, one lasting just a couple of years, and then after his replacement was in need of being replaced, opted to come back in the year 2000 in order to ride out the last 15 years of his life as the drummer of this iconic group. And really out of respect, they decided that Martin was Bolt Thrower's drummer. He was, in some way, Bolt Thrower. And that there would be nobody else that would be able to match what he means to them. And that it was time for the band to say goodbye. Even though that's a difficult idea for some to really digest, even though that no doubt will spark a little bit of anger among old school fans, considering this band has not had a static lineup. They've been at it since the 1980s. Their first album came out in 1988. I have to respect this decision a whole heck of a lot. I really do. Because it really showcases the bond and the importance of the people that you play with, the people that you are associated with whenever you make the commitment to be in a touring band, one that goes around the world in order to sport your craft. It showcases the bond that you really develop, and even whenever things don't go very well, there is still something that's there that never leaves, something that will always be present. And really, even though there has been 11 years worth of a gap between Bolt Thrower albums, there's one thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years. It seems that this younger generation has been introduced to Bolt Thrower in some way, and they have really fallen in love with what their sound has been able to produce. They've really enjoyed what they have gotten, and Bolt Thrower has gotten some younger fans based off of that idea, and it's sad to see that they will never experience a Bolt Thrower release, but hopefully they will also understand sort of the solemn nature, the respectful nature, the very difficult nature that it no doubt was to make this choice. Now, the other members of the band will be associated in other projects, we can assume, and so they will not necessarily be leading music. However, Bolt Thrower, as of right now, is no more, and Bolt Thrower and their contributions is something that heavy metal and death metal in general, extreme metal, really will talk about and feel and really reap the benefits of for decades to come. So, thanks for the memories, Bolt Thrower, and thank you really for being so very candid about your decision, considering that really does bring the fan and the band closer together. And it allows us to sort of mourn together. And based around that, man, tons of respect. Thanks once again. Rest in peace.